Well, after a year of paying it down, consumer debt is once again going up.
Yeah, and one major source of American debt is our cell phones. So KSL consumer investigator Matt Gephardt has been looking into a way to stay connected without breaking the bank. Matt?
Mike Dini, Apple just released its latest iPhone, and even though the old ones largely are working just fine, we found that Utahns are throwing their money at this problem and throwing themselves into debt.
If I were to ask what is something worth going into debt for, what comes to mind? Your home? Maybe your car? How about that family vacation that you put off through a pandemic? How about the latest cell phone from Apple? Actually, that's a big one according to new data shared with the KSL Investigators. WalletHub found that close to half of Americans said their cell phone was their most important possession during the pandemic, and 20% think that the new iPhone is worth going into debt for.
So it makes sense why we see the demand for the new iPhone still very high.
WalletHub's Jill Gonzalez says that in addition to all of the apps and whatnot that our smartphones do, they are also a status symbol.
There is a sense of keeping up with the Joneses. 15% of people actually say that they would judge someone who doesn't have the new iPhone as a sign that they are struggling financially.
But if you're not that insecure, consider this. Shopping around online, the KSL investigators found the newest iPhone 13 Pro Max going for more than $1,000, but if you go for a slightly older or refurbished model, you can save hundreds. Having good credit is also a money saver, though that is controversial.
The better credit you have, if you have excellent credit, you're probably going to have to pay less monthly than someone with fair or poor credit. And a lot of consumers don't necessarily agree with that.
Yeah, in fact, about 45% feel that credit checks for cell phones are simply not fair. And you know, American debt remains a major American hurdle. It especially impacts lower income Americans. Anytime something is financed, remember, you end up paying way more for it by the time you get to the finish line. If you got something you want me to look into, let me know about it. The number 385-707-6153, or you can email me, matt@ksl.com.
Yep, clearly, though, our phones are a necessity. They're not a luxury anymore. So that goes hand in hand with those attitudes. Matt, thanks.